Okay, this is a learning live. I believe it's almost 5:30. Let me wait until exactly 5:30. Okay, it's 5:30. This is a learning live, so go ahead and gather note-taking materials. If this is your first time visiting or your first time watching on the replay, note-taking materials. I use a spiral notebook, pens, and a highlighter. Feel free to use whatever it is that you need to use in order for you to learn these materials. And then you're going to need a second device. You're going to go and use that second device to go to theturnarounddoctor.com. And from there, you will select the 74 Principles of Real Leadership. Scroll all the way down. We are in the leader-led section. Again, note-taking materials, second device, theturnarounddoctor.com, 74 Principles of Real Leadership page. Scroll down to leader-led. On your own, go ahead and inhale 3 times just to take 3 deep breaths, just to quiet the mind so you can be prepared to learn your lesson for today. I am Dr. Donna Louise Thomas-Rodgers, daughter of Leslie Darnell Thomas, granddaughter of Arthur Jethro Evelyn II, and great-granddaughter of Levi Thomas. Good morning, Regina, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today's topic is hold everyone personally accountable. Hold everyone personally accountable. That is the number one principle of real leadership. And if you have the book, it says hold yourself and others. Good morning, Lola. It says hold yourself and others accountable. Hold everyone accountable. Some interesting information that I gathered today. I'm going to be talking kind of fast, so keep up. I'll repeat if I can. Just want to get everything in. We do have an 8 o'clock appointment, so I'm going to try to pack a lot into a little. So I'm putting some Spanx on this morning. Put it all together. Hopefully it all stays. Okay, how do we get here? Neurogenesis is the creation of new neurons. Neuroplasticity is the creation of new neural pathways. You put that together with the 74 principles of real leadership and the theory of personal accountability, and you arrive at neuropability. That's the brain's ability to wire itself to the 74 principles of real leadership so that you can learn how to hold yourself personally accountable and achieve your best day in and day out. This happens in the frontal lobe, in the executive function of the brain, which is also known as the CEO of the brain. Without further ado, let's use it today. Initially, if you are new to here, new to the replay, I've already gone over and reviewed the 74 principles of real leadership, and now I'm taking each one at a time and defining all of the words in it so that you can understand it in each one in its totality. Today, we are looking at hold everyone personally accountable. The definition of hold is to keep or maintain. To keep or maintain. The definition of everyone is every person. Everyone is every person. That means you're a nice little 3-year-old to your octogenarian parent and all points in between. Hold everyone personally accountable. So everyone means every person. And for me, I had a pet. Her name was Sandra, and I held her personally accountable too. But it's every person. Personally, with the personal presence or action of the individual specified. So the individual specified, me, ma, papa, Gigi, papa, granddaddy, auntie, uncle, friend, everybody, that individual person specifically specified. Okay, good morning. And then accountable, being responsible for something and being required to explain or justify your actions or decisions. Being responsible for something and being required to explain or justify your actions or decisions. That little part right there, that's where the problems come into play. That's where all the conflict ensues, is that accountable word. Because you can keep and maintain, Peter. Look, I keep the teeth that's left in my mouth are maintained. Nice little pearly whites. Or you can do that part and you can say every person, and you can even say you yourself personally. You can identify that. But when you say being responsible for something, being required to explain and justify your actions and your decisions for all that you do and all that you fail to do, That's where the problem is. So if you're wondering why when you hold yourself or somebody else personally accountable, now it's like, ugh, that's where that amygdala gets hijacked. That's where that fight, flight, freeze, or appease comes into play. That accountability, that word right there causes problems, causes a lot of problems. We're going to delve into why. Now, what is personal accountability? I'm glad you asked, Nola. Personal accountability means taking full responsibility for your own actions, your choices, and the outcomes without, and this is that B part if you was in a Baptist church that everybody forget that important part of the verse, without blaming others, making excuses, or avoiding consequences. I'm going to say that again for the people in the back. Personal accountability means taking full responsibility for your own actions, your choices, and the outcomes of all of that without blaming others, making excuses, or avoiding the consequences for your actions. Now, who y'all know doing that on a daily basis? I got some receipts, some doggone statistics for you later on in this situation. Who doing that daily? Because it's daily personal accountability. Who doing that daily? They're not blaming others. They're not making excuses, and they're not avoiding the consequences for the choices that they made on their own. Who doing that consistently? Waking up saying, yeah, I married that man that cost me my credit score and my house and my savings. I did that. Me, I was the fool. Who, you just a fool. You know you in love. Yep, that was me. I resemble that remark. I was complicit in that situation. I had to leave that doggone situation. Okay, who's doing that? Because that's the definition. That's why it's 8 people on my live right now, because the title alone says, shit, that bullshit. I ain't about to do that. I'm good at blaming others. I got trophies. Okay, I got whole trophy cases full of blaming others. I got awards on my walls for making excuses. I call that the excuse wall. What's that right there? Oh, that's my wall of excuses. And avoiding consequences. Eat whatever I want. Get to the doctor. Oh, I'm stressed right now, doc. I got to, and all the, no. Blood pressure through the roof. Gout got your foot swole. All kind of stuff. Diabetes, you got a red velvet cupcake in the cup holder in your car at the doctor's appointment to get your insulin refilled. Trying to avoid consequences. I'm just take my blood pressure medicine. You know what? I'm just take this guy. I'm just going ahead. You know what? Salt is good. Salt. The Bible says that we are the salt of the earth. That's why I got high blood pressure. No, it's not. That's not the same salt. Not the same salt at all. But avoiding those consequences, that is the problem. That's why people can't hold themselves or other people personally accountable. We're going to get into that. So what questions do you have about the definition of hold everyone personally accountable and then the totality of personal accountability? What questions do you have for me? Do we not have? What's happening here? Okay. I don't even know what that new button is. YouTube just will give you a new button and not tell you what it is. It don't say the name or nothing. Okay. So what are the key aspects of personal accountability? Kevin, I'm glad you asked. Number 1, again, the key aspects of personal accountability. Number 1, owning your decisions. People talk about owning a car, own a house, own a boat, own a cottage, own some stocks, own a business. Don't nobody talk about owning their decisions. Ain't nobody like, well, shit, I own all 100% of my decisions. I did that right there. That was on me. No, ain't nobody talking about how many ownerships of decision making they got. Ask people. Go today. It's Friday. Go ahead. Ask the folks. Hey, how many decisions you own? You can be like, what? Yeah, how many decisions you own? Do you own that decision right there? That insignificant other 20-year shit show you in? You owning that? No, you don't own that. You want to talk about this 20 years it took you to pay your house off. What about that decision over there? What about the falafelification? of your body. You owning them decisions? No, no, you're not going to own those decisions at all. You're not going to own the decisions that you talking the walk, but not walking the talk. You're not going to do that at all. No, that's why you're personally unaccountable. So acknowledging the choices you make and the effects of those choices, that's one of the key aspects of personal accountability. I got to own my shit. I got to own all the choices that I have made. Every last one of them, good or bad. I grew up eating all the candy that I wanted, and I got the feelings and the missing tooth to show y'all that I was not taking care of my teeth growing up. I was in my 30s before I realized, listen, these motherfuckers is expensive and you ain't getting no new ones. The hell is wrong with you? Brush your teeth, floss your teeth, and stop eating all this doggone sugar. That's on me. Number 2, follow through. Follow through. Doing what you said you will do. Anybody that's in a challenge, have y'all ever not gotten an email from me after you turned your stuff in? I will tell you no. If I told you I'm going to send you something, I'm going to send it to you. If I tell you on the live, email me because I'm perimenopausal, then do it and you going to get it. You ain't never been in a 30-day challenge and you ain't heard from me in 3 damn days. Like what? I keep turning my stuff in. She said she was going to follow up. She said she was going to follow through. I ain't heard from her. I said I'm going live. I've been live 544 days consecutively. 544 days. 544. That's a long ass time. I don't even understand your question, Muhammad. I don't do motivation, so I don't know if what you're saying about motivation. If you're asking me if I'm a motivational speaker, hell no, I'm actually not. I teach personal accountability. You can go to LinkedIn and find out more about me. I answered your question. Don't do a follow-up because I'm in the middle of something. Follow through. Number 3, admitting mistakes. Admitting mistakes. My sister would rather bite off her tongue than admit a mistake. So admitting mistakes is accepting when you're wrong and learning from it. When you're wrong, admit this was messed up. This was a bad choice. This was a bad idea. Let me go ahead and assess and do my best from that mess. Number 4, being honest. One of the 74 principles of real leadership is to be honest. Be honest. And how many people do you interact with on a daily basis that are not honest? They are not honest. They are not transparent at all. So be honest with yourself and others about your role in all situations. Good, bad, right, wrong, indifferent. Be honest. Be honest. So again, key aspects of personal accountability: owning your decisions, following through, admitting mistakes, and being honest. If you think about those 4 aspects, that is some of the things that's stopping people from being personally accountable. I'm not going to admit I did that. And people say teenagers are the ones that don't do it. Adults. We got plenty of adults in positions of power or authority not admitting a mistake, not following through, not being honest at all, and definitely not owning the decisions. No, I didn't. My staff. Oh no, that was the team. See, my cousin told me to do. Not owning and decision when it goes left, but when it goes right, it was my decision, because that's what unaccountables are good at. Credit and blame. Credit and blame. It went well. That shit was me. It went bad. That was them. That was them. But no, not me. So why is it difficult for people? First of all, what questions do you have about the key aspects of personal accountability? Do you have any questions about the key aspects of personal accountability? I like how my number is dropping and now we're down to our original class size. It's interesting. So what questions do you have, or do you need me to repeat the key aspects of personal accountability? Okay, then we're moving on. Why is it so difficult for people to hold themselves personally accountable? Regina, I know you're driving, but I'm glad you asked. Why is it difficult? Here's why. People often find it difficult to hold themselves personally accountable because it involves facing uncomfortable truths and taking full ownership of mistakes or failures. People often find it difficult to hold themselves personally accountable because it involves facing uncomfortable truths and taking full ownership of mistakes or failures. That's why it's so hard. That right there. This is uncomfortable. I don't want to be personally I don't want to be personally accountable because it's uncomfortable. I told you I read that book. He said the brain is all about pain or pleasure. I'm seeking that pain and pleasure all day long, avoiding the pain and seeking out the pleasure. And telling the truth is uncomfortable, extremely uncomfortable. Why would I do that? Why would I tell the truth when I could just lie? Lies make me feel better, and lies make me look better. Okay. And then the mistakes and the failure, the amygdala clearly doesn't like mistakes and failure at all. No, we're not. We're not doing that again. You remember the last time that shit went left? Don't do that again. No, stop. What you doing? Absolutely not. We're not going to do that. We're not going to try again. It didn't work. So no, and we're not going to tell anybody that it didn't work. We're just going to say, that's just not for me. That just, because I'm over here. I really just like standing and looking. I don't really like moving around and talking to people and stuff. No, because because people, you just can't trust people. You just really can't. So I just stand here and I stand still. Yep. Now I'm gonna talk about everybody that walk past, but I'm not moving out this spot. Not at all. No, uncomfortable truths. Me saying my stepfather's a perv is an uncomfortable truth. So much so that my mother can't tell me why she's still married to the man. And yesterday was their wedding anniversary. She don't have an answer. Now that I broke contact and Cinco de Slapo is about to be here. So it's 3 years of no contact. But yeah, we can't have that conversation while everybody in my immediate family decided I was going to be on the receiving end of some form of their abuse. No contact is better. We're not talking about that. We're not going to talk about why they failed as parents and as an older sibling. Why not? No, you got all this photos and bragging rights for all of my accomplishments, in spite of you making it even more difficult for it to take place. But if we all senior citizens and we can't have that conversation, nobody don't want to be personally accountable for that. But my mama do look good for 75 and my sister for 55. Okay, so yeah, ownership of your mistakes and your failures. If you cannot own your mistakes and your failures, you are never going to be your best. You are never, ever, 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 ever going to be your best if you don't own your mistakes and your failures. Personal accountability. I am responsible and accountable for all that I do and all that I fail to do. That's me. Boo boo. That's on me. So you not getting to your best. It's never going to happen. And I don't care how many Faustian bargains you enter into. I don't care if you sycophant, brown nose, ass kiss, apple polish your way to the top. You still aren't going to be your best. It's still not going to be your best because you sitting on all your shit and the stench is getting stronger by the nanosecond. By the nanosecond. So here's why people can't hold themselves personally accountable. Fear of failure or judgment. Fear of failure or judgment. That's number one. Admitting fault can feel like exposing a weakness. Admitting fault. Admitting fault says I'm weak. But we know that apologizing when you are wrong is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. And I, too, as a second lieutenant in the military, thought saying, I'm sorry or I apologize made me weak. And so there was a point when I refused to do it. Now I understand it's just part of being personally accountable. But the fear or failure of judgment, that judgment from these unaccountable people, because you know what's not over here in the land of real leaders? Self-righteousness and judgment. That's why I cry on lives. That's why I curse. That's why I check trolls, unaccountable people, because there is no judgment over here. There's only two types of people in the world. People who hold themselves personally accountable on a daily basis and the unaccountable people who don't. That's it. And they sitting in their comfort zone and their self-righteousness, judging people's flaws and everything else while they sit and they ain't made a mistake since 1972. Ain't made a good decision either. Just sitting in that. Just looking like 1972. You look at them and you just hear the shaft, some doggone Doobie Brothers or something when they walking through. That's what they look like because they ain't made no decisions. But go ahead, fear, failure, or judgment. So you do that and now you're going to appear weak. Number two, ego and pride. The downfall, edging great out. is that damn ego, that doggone big ass ego with that little bit of low self-confidence and low self-esteem and pride. Pride goes before a fall. So it can be hard to accept responsibility when it challenges one's self-image or pride. I can't say this. I can't. I'm going to look bad. I'm going to look bad if I say this. So no, I'm not about to admit that I did something wrong. No, not at all. I am who I am. Let's find a scapegoat. Let's go find somebody else to blame. But I'm not taking responsibility for that. I'm me. Number 3, we are in a blame culture right now. I've never seen so much blame in the soon to be 52 years that I have been on this earth than right now in 2025. So number 3 is this blame culture. In environments where blame is common, people deflect responsibility to avoid punishment or embarrassment. In today's environment where blame is common, people deflect responsibility to avoid punishment or embarrassment. Punishment or embarrassment. I ain't do that. No, that was them. I ain't do that. Nope, I didn't do that. That's why I tell y'all, yep, I used to walk around with a bat and a tire iron. I would Freaknik. I had my version of Daisy Dukes on and everything else. I did some stand-up comedy. I've been essayed a lot of times. A lot of times. Way too many that I did. Listen, I got the bat. I'm like, woo, did they not get the lesson? All of that. Married the wrong person, had to take on all that debt and everything else, had to single-handedly raise my child with $50 a month, non-child support that I never got in 17 years, all that. And I'm still standing strong and vertical because those were my decisions. Some of them were my decisions. And I talk about all of it because this whole blame culture, I don't get to be me. I don't get to have 11,300 videos if I let all that stuff stop me. If I let that shame, if I let that embarrassment. I'm from Detroit, between 2024 Glendale, between 12th and 14th, Linwood, Woodrow Wilson, Young Boys Incorporated. What? And now I don't live over there anymore. I don't even live in the state. And now I'm here. Started over there and now I'm here. But you're not going to take all of the Detroit out of me. I don't like Detroit, but you're not about to take it out of me because it's where I'm from. So it's like, oh my gosh, she's not coffee with cream. She said, ain't got no. You got doggone right. I said, ain't got no. Motherfucker. I sure did. I sure did. And I can go ghetto-lectual too. So I'm going to embrace it all. Every last bit of it. I'm not about to say, I'm Levi's great-granddaughter. You got a problem with it? I don't care. I don't care, but I'm not about to sit in this little perfect little thing. When I start filming more, we got a white motherfucking refrigerator in our kitchen. And you know what it does? The same thing the stainless steel ones do. It keeps the cold and the froze. There you go. That's what it does. So I'm not about to be embarrassed about the black and white stove and the black and white microwave and the black and white dishwasher with the toaster oven that's got all the evidence that we use the hell out of that damn toaster oven because that's what we do. Carpet that's been walked on, chairs that's been sat in, because that's what they were bought for. I'm not about to be embarrassed about none of that. I'm not about to blame, oh man, you know what? Because see, well, we in the middle stages and we working on our business. I'm not doing that shit. No, and you shouldn't either. Don't make excuses for nothing you have or nothing you don't have. I don't have a car on purpose. Done. From the Motor City. No carro. Nah. No das Automobil. Nein. Okay, ik habe nein das Automobil. Nicht. Okay? So that's number 3. Number 4, lack of self-awareness. Who is you? Who is you? Okay? Some may not realize the role they played in the problem due to denial or limited reflection. Why do I tell everybody 15 minutes of daily personal reflection every day? Assess what's happening. Assess what's happening because you don't want to look at the role. I got married on September 17th because September 11th happened. Me and Regina was 2 days apart from at the courthouse in Orlando. She was getting divorced and I was getting married. We should have bumped into each other in the damn lobby. Don't do it. Okay. Didn't happen that way. Timing. And now here we are 20-something years later. Then met back up, even though I don't live in Florida no more. So you may not realize the role you played in the problem due to denial or limited reflection. Lack of self-awareness. When you know who you are, you can say, yep, I fucked that up. Yep, I did a great job over there, but that over there, messed that right all toe up from the flow up. Sure did. Absolutely messed that all the way up. Number 5, avoidance of consequences. Owning up might mean facing disciplinary actions, lost opportunities, or having to make difficult changes. Avoidance of consequences. Owning up might mean facing disciplinary actions, loss of opportunities, or having to make difficult changes. I haven't told this story in a while, but when I was in ROTC, I have said that I was third in command because of my GPA. So Eric Greening was in charge. Amy Palmer was next in command, and then there was me in ROTC. We're all seniors. Eric Greening is an asshole, was and still is, and he is chief of police somewhere in Seattle over the traffic section. I looked him up recently to see if he and I were the only ones who received an ROTC scholarship to go to college. He never went in the Army. Now, what's interesting is he was an asshole back then. And he said something or did something to me, and I can't quite remember what it was, but he was always fucking with me. And so, because I was still DD from the D, I went into the bathroom. He used to park his car because the ROTC building was separate from the other buildings. He used to park his car over there. So when he left 6th hour, he could just leave and go to his job. He said some shit to me. And I didn't like what he said. So I went in the bathroom and I got that school soap. That that raggedy ass cream bar of soap, and I wrote bitch on the front side of driver's side and passenger side of his car. So when he came to walk to ROTC for 6th hour, bitch was sitting there on his driver's side and passenger side, right on the driver's side of the car, because how he parked perpendicular to the building, and he was livid. And I tell you, 10 toes down, didn't nobody snitch. Nobody said who did it. Nobody said who did it. And finally, Sergeant Morgenstern got somebody to crack. I don't know who it was, but he called me in the office and he said, Thomas, did you do it? And I said, huh? He said, did you do it? Did you write that on Greenie's car? I sat there for a minute. I was like, oh, I'm going to get in trouble. They probably going to demote my ass again. Oh, but I had already been to basic training. I said, yes, sir, it was me. And I got a good talking to, but nothing happened to me. But it took him a minute to get that damn bitch off his car because he was acting like a bitch. Didn't nobody mess with me for the rest of the school year. However, did not avoid my consequences. I thought about it because I was 17. I was like, I'm going to lose my rank. This is not going to go well for me. Okay. All right. So I didn't avoid the consequences, but yeah. And so now I'm not petty anymore. And I don't do stuff like that anymore. All right, number 6 is low confidence. People who doubt their abilities may avoid accountability to protect their fragile self-esteem. If you already got low confidence, you might avoid doing anything that's going to make your little self-esteem feel bad. So no, I'm not going to be personally accountable. No, I'm not going to say I wrote bitch on Eric Greening's car. Absolutely not. But because I didn't have low confidence, I stood up and I said that was me, 100%. And then number 7, the final one, external focus. It's easier to blame circumstances, other people, or luck than to examine one's own choices. It's easier to blame circumstances, other people, or luck than to examine one's own choices. Now, I could have went to school and been like, sir, the war, my unit is about to get activated because I was in the reserves. So I could have got some excuses together and be like, PTSD. But we didn't know it was PTSD then. I forgot, shell shock is what they was calling it back then because of the people from Vietnam. But I didn't do that. I did it, and yeah, so that was that. But I think Sergeant Morgenstern knew Greening was an asshole too. That's why I didn't get in trouble, because he probably was getting on his nerves too. Now that I think about it. Anyway, so the 7 reasons why it's difficult for people to hold themselves personally accountable is number 1, fear of failure or judgment. Number 2, ego and pride. Number 3, a blame culture. Number 4, lack of self-awareness. Number 5, avoidance of consequences. Number 6, low confidence. And number 7, external focus. What questions do you have about the 7 reasons why people don't hold themselves personally accountable? Nola, I think it was genius because it was so hard to wipe that soap off because it suds. Yes. That's the takeaway from that. If you go, don't key nobody's car. Just use soap, school soap from the bathroom. Don't do that at all. I didn't know my amygdala was hijacked at the time. Fight, flight, freeze, or appease. Clearly, I chose fight. That was not a good decision. I am not recommending that you do that. Talk your problems out. Handle conflict when it occurs. But don't do anything. I should have been sitting on my hands instead of doing that. Think before you go get the bar soap. Okay. What questions do you have about these 7 reasons why people don't hold themselves personally accountable? Good morning, Sabrina. You are listening. Mr. Hook, do you have any questions? Do I need to repeat any, or did you get them? But I did have a strategy. Don't do it. So I sat there for a minute. I said, how can I really mess with him today? What can I do? So it was genius. Okay. All right. So here are some things before we get into how to hold everyone personally accountable, because there are 7. This is what I did. No questions, got all the notes. Roger that. So here's what I did, because I love Chat GPT and I'm loving Grok as well. Not willing to purchase them just yet. I'm not purchasing Grok. I will purchase Chat GPT. But you got for Chat GPT, if you have the free version, you ask more than 5 questions, you have to wait 5 hours for it to reset. And then on Grok, which is on X, you can ask 10 questions and then you have to reset every 2 hours. So me, because y'all know I am very frugal, not as frugal as El Cheapo, my child. I just ask the questions throughout the day and reset. So I look to see what time was the last time. Like I just asked Chat GPT some questions at 4 o'clock. So now I have after 9 o'clock. And then with X, just every 2 hours. So if you do that in a 24-hour cycle, you really don't have to pay for anything. Then you could throw Google in there too, and you could do that. Okay. So here's what I asked Chat GPT this morning. And I'm going to give you the specific actual question that I asked, because I was curious, and Google would never reveal this information to me because Google couldn't compile it together. Not yet. They are going to, because Chat GPT will definitely take them out if they don't. Okay. What is the percentage of adults who hold themselves personally accountable to become their best? What is the percentage of adults who hold themselves personally accountable daily to become their best? Would anyone like to guess what the research revealed? The question again was, what is the percentage of adults who hold themselves personally accountable daily to become their best? What do you, just take a stab? Sabrina says 66%, just throwing it out there. Right, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Just throw the number out there, whatever that number may be. You said probably 10. Which one is it? You got to pick one. Okay. Chat GPT. Yes, GPT. You can actually get the app, because the other reason why I was apprehensive about using it, because I thought it was just on software on your computer. I was like, well, I'll never use it, because I turn my computer on Mondays to type what the new book is, and that's it. Like if I can't use it to come from my phone, I might get to my tablet, but that's. What percentage do you think Chat told us? We'll be optimistic and stick with 66%. That's what I'm saying, Sabrina. That's what I'm saying. Go with your gut. Your gut is in your gut brain. No, you wasn't supposed to. You wasn't supposed to use Chat GPT, Kevin. You was supposed to answer my question. So the answer that I got with my Chat GPT is this: data is limited. Related studies provide some insight. So it told me the data for it is limited. Yours said cannot compute. So now please send flowers. No. Now y'all can understand how difficult my work is, because Chat GPT is the business. It gives you all kind of answers. I'm telling you, it will tell you why women decide to color their hair. Okay. To decide to keep their gray hair or not keep their gray hair. They got all this information. They even got the extended research button on it. No answer. And it took a minute, because normally when I ask what's the meaning of whatever, it just answers start coming up. And it sat there for a minute. It's like, whoa, hold up, Doc. What you asking for? What you asking for? And it's the first time that I asked something not in the research that it gave me quoted sites. Because usually it just goes boop, 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 answer my questions, no reference sites or anything. It's just telling me as if we're having a conversation. So it said data is limited. Related studies provide some insights. I'm only going to take the one thing because the other two things really were not, they was irrelevant. Here's what it said. And this is coming from a pre-ply study. 82% of people set goals in 2024. On average, 3 in 4 people abandon those goals, indicating challenges in maintaining personal accountability. 82% of people set goals in 2024. And on average, 3 in 4 of those people abandon those goals, indicating challenges in maintaining personal accountability. 82%. Now, the next thing it said was, while adults aspire to personal growth, because they didn't even say personal accountability, to personal growth, maintaining personal accountability is a common challenge. So maintaining it is a challenge. And structured, so they said that's a challenge. And here's what they said. Structured goal setting and accountability partners can enhance the likelihood of achieving personal development methods. And here's the thing. When I went through my research yesterday, I removed one of the ways to hold yourself personally accountable because it said have a personal accountability buddy. So I went to my wise small counsel, which is Nola, and I said, Nola, this information is saying that you should have an accountability buddy. So I asked her, should you have an accountability buddy? And she said no, because what if the accountability buddy stops being accountable? Are y'all going to stay together? Or now you got to make a decision. Am I staying with my accountability buddy? Or am I not staying with my account? Because both of y'all, if we see it, beginning of the year, you got your battle buddy. Y'all going to go to the gym. You're going to have a hot girl, hot guy summer, sugar daddy, sugar mama summer. And y'all both go to the gym on January 5th. And February 15th show up and y'all eating chocolates. Whoa, muy grande, yes, everything. Eating it all up. And then you just like, you know what? I'm just going to put on some doggone, maxi dresses. That's what I'm going to do. Shorts and t-shirts and maxi dresses. It's okay. It's just more of me to love. That's what happens. Now you and your battle buddy is sitting at the doggone, for us, one of the hotel buffets. Just shoveling it in. So no, accountability buddy. That's not what's going to happen. You got to hold yourself personally accountable. First, fix you first. It fixes a lot. So that's it. 3 and 4 people. So much so that they can't even give me this information. However, in a book that I was reading last week, we talked about the law of the 80-20 rule. And that is the Pareto, that's what it is. Okay, principle. But I'll call it the law of the fatal few. 80-20 rule. That means that 80% of your outcomes results from 20% of your causes. 80%. That they say you spend 80% of your time of in your closet, you wear 20% of your clothes 80% of the time. So it's that. So 20% of the population accounts for 80% of daily personal accountability, because 3 divided by 4 is 75%. That's why if you're personally accountable, you feel it. Everybody comes to you for everything, because 3 out of 4 people is personally unaccountable. They're like, yeah, fuck that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. That's what happens. So if 10 people start out on my lives, we get down to 3 or 4. Y'all ain't never noticed that? We had 3, 4, 5, maybe. No matter how many people start at the beginning, we get down to the core group of people who now have to go off. And what we doing? We being personally accountable in our communities to all the rest of these unaccountable people. So much so that it's to quote Floyd Mayweather when the COVID hit, it's an academic. It's an academic. That's what's happening. It literally is an academic. 3 out of 4 people said, fuck that. We ain't being personally accountable. Now you can understand why it's so hard. Now, because Chat GPT can't even tell me the actual number. Well, Doc, we ain't got that. It's the first time it said, this is a constellation prize. This is what I do. You want this? This is what it look like. This is all we got. I got nothing else for you, Doc, but this information right here. And then it normally say, would you like for me to do more? And it was like, you got any other questions? You want to search something else? Because this ain't it. So 3 out of 4. Now you can understand if you're sitting in the room and shit going left and you find yourself about to get up, you sit your ass back down. No, get some popcorn. I'll wait. Shit show palooza. Let that happen. If people weren't there, you weren't there at the planning meeting and the shit goes left, just let it. I asked y'all in the beginning, did y'all need help? Y'all told me no. I think I know everything. I do, but okay. I know now. This ain't, hey, you want, I'm good. I'll tell you a quick story. When I had lunchtime talkers, they had to do their, I did the first contest in the fall. They said as a club, they wanted to do the second contest. We got this, Dr. Donna. We got this. We got it. We going to show you. You playing the whole contest by yourself in the fall. We the offices now. We going to do this. I said, okay, cool. So it was table topics was the contest. Anybody that's ever been to Toastmasters, table topics, you have to ask a question. You ask every contestant the same question, and they don't know what the question is. And in that moment, they have to put together a speech extemporaneously, right then and there, impromptu, based upon that question. We're at the meeting. We're getting ready to start. They got food, the trophies, the agenda, the room set up, and everything. And it's time. And I get pulled outside. Dr. Donna? Yeah, what's up? We don't have a question. I'm sorry, what? You what? This is a table topics competition. You got to have a question. And then Summer Rab was like, well, now you could be mad right now, hold us accountable, but we need a question. Okay, cool, bet. I got a question. I give them the question, it's over, and then I go ham after the meeting. Because that's the one thing that they actually needed. The one thing. They got food, trophies, the room is decorated, every damn thing else. And the one thing to make the contest work, the firing pin. And now ain't nobody got a question. And can't think of one. Because now their amygdala was hijacked. And now they got to come and see the saber-toothed tiger to get a question. Like, ugh. And Nola has had that experience. She's like, I messed this all the way up, and now I got to go deal with Dr. Donna. She asked me if I needed help. I told her no. And now I do. So don't sit there and say, you know what? It's the 80-20 rule. It's the law of the fatal few. And I am the fatal few. I am the 20%. So don't be using your 20% on the 80% that didn't fucking give a fuck. Fuck y'all. Get some popcorn. Keep you a bag of microwave popcorn in your bag. Hold up, where you going? To the microwave, because this is about to be good. And in fact, I might stream it as an example of what not to do, because this is a shit show. Yes. How many times have you been, they told you, I don't need you, Sabrina, we got this. You all wait, your busybody stuff. Regina, here you come trying to make us all calm. And now, Kevin, we don't need your money. The next thing you know, hey, so remember when you said you could help us and give us $500? Do you remember when you said that you were going to come and give a speech, Regina? Because our speaker backed out. And Sabrina, I know you knew you was going to organize it. But no, because remember we said we could put this together. No, always got somebody. Oh no, we're going to put the table together. We had an appointment. Hey, you got a wrench? Hey, let me see your screwdriver. You know what? Do you have as soon as we hear these words, do you have an appointment after this? What else you got? Because it wasn't on the list, but what else you got? That's what ends up happening. So what we gonna do, we a group of us is sitting out in America. So we about to take that same practice over up and through him. Okay, you caused it, you solved it, because you just choosing not to be personally accountable. You ain't got no good doggone reason other than, I don't feel like it. Sound like you're gonna be creating some new neural pathways. That's what it sounds like to me. Sounds like you need to make a trip, pack your bags, get your shit, and come on up here and use it. Use this and stop using this and stop using me too. Okay, 80%. Got it? The law of the fatal few. All right, so how do you hold yourself and everyone else personally accountable? Number one, set clear goals and expectations. You're going to be specific about what needs to be done, by when, and why. And you'll write these things down. And you're going to track your progress so it can be more tangible. This goes back to Dr. Donna saying, don't do anything without a strategy. They actually had a Toastmaster contest and didn't have the one thing that they needed. But if they had to ask me some questions or let me see the agenda, the checklist, I would have said, where's the question? In the meeting, before the meeting. Because you got about a month to plan the doggone contest at your club level. So set clear goals and expectations. Number two, own your choices. Own your choices. Stop trying to go buy a house and own your choices. Okay? Own your choice. I got 50 pair of shoes that I own. About what's up with them choices? I got 14 wigs in rotation. What's up with them choices? Own those, okay? You got 55 fucking Stanley Cups, but you ain't owning an damn decision. No, own your choices. Acknowledge that your actions and reactions are your responsibilities, even when circumstances are tough. Even when they're tough, because everybody good when shit going right. But when it's going left, yeah, I don't know what happened. These kids, they just, I don't. No, all of them, all of your choices. Who decided to have these badass kids? Who decided to have these kids today? Who decided to marry that insignificant other? You did. Who decided to have that job that you hate going to? You did. You did. So own it. I tell y'all all the things about Frito-Lay and I say, hold up, but wait a minute, that's not a good company. I'm just telling you, I took the good. I took the bad while I was there, and then I took the good with me when I left, to include myself. So replace your I had to with I chose to. Okay? Write that down for the people in the back. Replace your I had to with replace it with I chose to. Not I had to, I chose to. Because now you can choose something else. But when you say had to, I didn't have a choice. You did. You always have another choice. You always have one or more other choices, but you chose that choice. And if you didn't have a strategy when you chose it and the shit went left, you got to say, I did that. I ain't have a strategy. That was a dumbass plan. That shit show palooza is on me. I chose that. Okay. So I didn't have to, I chose to. Number 3. Reflect regularly. I tell you 15 minutes or more every single day. Woosah. If you got a busy ass house, go in the bathroom, turn the shower on and just sit on the toilet, on the sink, on the hamper, on the side of the bathtub, get a chair and just reflect. And if you really want some time, take out some cleaning supplies. If you take out some cleaning supplies and do this, tell everybody in the house, I'm going to take a quick power nap. And when I get up, we're going to clean. You're going to get 3 hours. They gonna leave and you got 3-hour nap right there. Just start taking. They say, hey, what you doing? Oh, you know what? I'm getting the cleaning products ready. I'm gonna go lay on the couch. I'm gonna go lay in the bed. I'm gonna take a quick power nap. Wake me up in 20 minutes so we can go ahead and clean. 3-hour nap. It's gonna work. Start turning or get the lawnmower out if you have grass. Do something. Start getting the tools. Hey, I'm getting ready to go work on the car. Okay, cool. Nope. Scatter like roaches when the lights come on. Get your 15 minutes or more a day. And when you do that, take time to daily ask yourself these 3 questions. What did I do well? What could I have done differently? And what's one thing I'll improve? It's like having an after action review with yourself. What did I do well? What could I have done differently? And what's one thing I'll improve? Reflect regularly, 15 minutes or more every single day that you are vertical. Number 4, embrace your mistakes, flaws and all. View failure as a learning opportunity, not as a personal flaw. Apologize when necessary, then focus on growth and next steps. So everything that you do, every mistake that you make, I'm learning from that. I apologize for that. It's all going to make you better. It's all going to make you better. So embrace the mistakes. Because remember, the unaccountables, the 3 out of 4s are not doing that. Number 5, avoid blame and excuses. Focus on solutions instead of pointing fingers by asking, what is the root cause of this? Don't look for blame. Who we gonna blame? Who's the scapegoat? How we gonna make this? How we gonna spin this? We need a PR person to come in and make this narrative look better than it actually is. Nope, today's a shit show, and here's why. It is a shit show. We have gone to places and they'll ask people like, hey, how y'all doing? Yeah, this little motherfucker right here, I'll be talking about, no, this one right here, I'm about to drop her ass off right now. Because this one, some of the stuff she did, I'm like, you going to be at one of the hospitals and I'm going to be in a 72-hour hold. Not making no excuses, not saying, oh my goodness, I can't take this. At no point did I call consistently my mother and her husband and say, come get her for a week. I need a break. She doing too much. How am I going to handle this? And it was a rare occasion. Rare occasion. I decided to have this child. I decided to get divorced. I decided I got to raise her. So no blaming, no excuses, none whatsoever. And then number 6, build personal accountability on the daily basis. On the daily basis. ChatGPT needs some new data. And I don't have enough pull on the internet currently to push my way past all the minutia of the corporations talking about personal accountability, because they talking about it at the job when this is in your day-to-day life. So build PA on the daily basis. And then number 7, you got to lead by example. When you fix you first, it fixes a lot. Then you can hold others personally accountable. Because the problem is you're not holding yourself personally accountable. Therefore, you can't hold nobody else personally accountable. And everybody want to keep saying these motherfuckers over here need to do this, they need to do this, they need to do this, they need to do this. And you over here in all your unaccountability. And that's the problem. It's the 100,000% on a scale of 1 to 2, the problem. It's 3 out of 4 people. It's such a problem that ChatGPT can't even give me a real percentage to the question that I asked. It cannot. So that's all I have this morning. Before I ask you your 2 questions, what questions do you have for me? And Nola, I'm going to need your stapler again to put these notes here. Number 3 again. Reflect regularly. So take the time daily to ask, what did I do well? What could I have done differently? And what's one thing I'll improve? Number 3, reflect regularly. Take the time daily to ask, what did I do well? What could I have done differently? And what's one thing I'll improve? Okay. What other questions do you have about holding everyone personally accountable? And if you have children or grandchildren, age 4 and above is when you start holding the grands and the children personally accountable. That's when Nola got household chores, make up her bed, and do all those things that she currently has to do. I was 5 years old standing on a chair washing silverware. And by 6, I was washing dishes. I think that was cruel and unusual punishment, but that's what you get when you have a god sister that's 8 years older than you and a sister that's 3 years older than you. And they want to add a third person in the rotation so they could go outside and be with their friends. Now, my turn to do the dishes today. A comment is saying, I chose to do this instead of I had to do this. Yes, so when you are taking responsibility for owning your choices, I chose to do this instead of saying I had no choice. I had to do this. When you say I had to do this, you feel like you can't undo it. But as soon as you switch it to I chose to do this, the brain says, well, choose something else. If you chose it, you're one, because had to means that it was coming from outside force. But I chose to get married on September 17th because I had just got out the military and I thought we was going to World War III. I was like, shoot, I didn't marry. I don't have no children. I got to hurry up. But if I had waited, which was my original strategy, which Nola said she wouldn't be here, if I'd have waited until May for all of that to take place, then I would have never gotten married because I would have had way more data points. So I chose to do this. And I had choices when I left the military. I chose to go work at Frito-Lay. That was my choice. Because I did not want to move back to Detroit and work in the criminal justice systems with my uncles. And that was the best of the other offers. Okay. If there are no other questions, my 2 questions for you today are, what did you learn today? And what did you learn about yourself today? And remember, if you're typing ... so I will know that YouTube did not freeze me out of the chat. minute. Got it. I don't even remember saying it, but okay. Well, I get on the roll. I mean, you would think that the stuff I'm saying is on these notes. Some of it is. Today, probably 40% of it was on here, but then the examples come after the fact. What did you learn today about yourself and in general? Oh. Regina, I learned that embracing my mistakes is sometimes emotionally painful, but is empowering and puts the onus squarely on me. Moi. I actually like being personally responsible for my stuff. I know it feels good because then you can do something about it. As long as it's out there, you can't change nothing at all. Nothing at all. But as soon as you say, oh, this is on me, I have 100% control over me, Roger that. Sabrina, ask myself daily for PA and others the 3 questions. Reflect regularly takes the time to ask, what did I do well? What could I have done differently? And what's the one thing I'll improve? Yes, ma'am. And Nola said, I learned from myself, I need to start saying I choose to or chose to. Yes, 100%. It's empowering. I promise you it's empowering. I learned one reason people aren't personally accountable is because of pride and ego. It makes sense. 3 out of 4. 3 out of 4. All these numbers make sense. Now, the final thing that I will say is, and I was in complete resistance to this, but I have been behind the scenes watching neuroscientists and podcasts and trying to find brain books and all kind of shit. So I'm going to have to go get a certificate in neuroscience. I'm not happy about that because the programs are 32 weeks long, 4 courses, 8 weeks at a time. Where will I find the time to go back to school in this current climate that I live in my day to day? But we're going to start planning for that because, as Nola has very vocally, high vocally, with a couple profane words added in there to hoot. I don't know where she gets this cursing from, but anyway, she has explained to me very painstakingly loud at a very high volume in the car, in the house, that I have to go to the source. I have to go to the source that they went to and got the information because they not giving us the information. So they not, they're either gatekeeping the information or they just can't tell us the information on how to use this amazing thing. So at some point this year, I will be doing that because I cannot get the information that I need in order to continue to give you the information that you need. I have enough, we can muddle through, but I don't have the neurological information. I don't know what books. I don't know what books from the University of Pennsylvania. I don't know what books, so the first class is Neuroscience 1000. So I have to take that because I don't have Neuroscience 1000. And I have been attempting to do it on my own with the schedule that we have and everything else, but I just have to go and do it. So that's my growth opportunity this year. Where will I find time to read textbooks and space in my day? God will make a way. Okay, because I am not getting the information that I need. It's just more of the same. And they specialize so much that they just pick this one little thing, and I need to understand the totality of it. Okay, Kevin, when you said you don't have enough power currently to influence the minutiae to change. Okay, got it. Chat GPT. Got it. Thank you. All right. And then I learned that you put soap on your friend's car, frenemies car, cracked up. It's nice that you have changed. I'm telling y'all did not want to mess with me in the late 80s, early 90s. It was not nice. You messing with me, you was gonna remember. Leave her alone. It was bad. It was definitely bad. I learned that I choose to do what I do and not that I have to do it. That is correct. And then Kevin, what did you learn about yourself? I didn't see that one. Yeah, so just what did you learn about yourself? So yes, Dr. Donna has to go back to school to get this information because I am scouring everything. Everything. I mean, I am scrub a dub dubbing. 3 men in a tubbing. And it is needle in a needle stack, the size of Mount Rainier. It is, yeah, because it's not what I need. And it's not, imagine if you, Kevin, you can, in Virginia, we used to go to the teacher supply store. When Lowe's, you know this too, you go to Lowe's, you're looking for a tool, they don't have it, but they'll say they can order it for you. You go to Harbor Freight or somewhere to get the tools that you need to do this thing. And I keep going to Lowe's. I keep going to Home Depot. I'm going to the teachers, the store, the school supply store, and they don't have the resources that I need. I don't have them, and I'm making them, but I'm like, with this many neuroscientists and psychiatrists and neurologists out here, why can't I find this information on the internet? Why can't I got to go to libraries and searching online and getting books shipped and all this stuff? And it's painstakingly difficult to get the tools, the resources. I mean, I got 11,000 videos. I know what I've been doing for the last 12 years, what they've been doing. And the final thing that I will say, I'm going to read Kevin's thing, but this is what I'll say. So I Googled the top leadership expert in the world yesterday, and I Googled the top neuroscientists in the world. And I knew I had an idea of who it was going to be because what's his name is good, not good to great. The guy from GE, I can see his face, but I can't remember his name. He died. So now the top leadership expert is John C. Maxwell. I kind of knew that it was going to be him, but I was just checking to make sure. That's the top, because just like when I do anything, I got to know. I'm using them as a frame of reference, benchmarking the best practices of the people. That's what I will say. And then the top neuroscientist in the world is Solomon H. Snyder. He's from Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine. And I was like, well, how do they measure the top neuroscientists in the world? And they have this thing called a D measurement. That's a score, kind of like a self-made score on the billionaires list. And then the other number, wait for this, is how many people have cited their work. And this person has the highest D8 score, and 271,000 and some change people have cited his work. And that's what makes him the top neuroscientist in the world. I said, what? That's the criteria to be the top neuro. People cited your work. That's what y'all do. That's why colleges publish or perish. Not Jim Collins from Good to Great. GE. The CEO of GE that just passed like 3 years ago. Nola, who was it? I see his name. I see his face as clear as day. He changed GE around. It was going left, and then he went and turned it all the way around, and everybody was like, he's such a genius for doing that. Why can't I think of his name? Brain cramp. No, not Jim Collins from Good to Great. But Nola will look it up and tell me. So the point is that the criterion to be the top neuroscientist isn't about how many people learn how to use the brain. It's about how many people cited your work. And that's what they do in universities, publish or perish. And the more people that cite you and go, that's how you get to the top spot. And it was at that moment that I said, I gotta go back to school. In order for this to work, I actually have to go back to school because this is not working at all for me. And it is, Kevin said, myself, I got to work on my acting and filming. Jack Welch, because I was about to look. It's Jack Welch. And I read his book, 18-minute book review, for me to only say, don't read the book. I got to grow on my acting and my filming skills. Yes, sir, you actually did. You all can go and check Kevin's turnaround risk video from yesterday. He took some risk, challenged himself, and grew to do what he needed to do. So what is the point, ladies and gentlemen? In summary, hold everyone personally accountable. Hold everyone personally accountable. The law of the fatal few is 80-20. Do not let people, the 80%, make you their 20. No, I'm choosing to sit this one out. That's what I'm doing. I'm sitting down and I'm watching these shit show paloozas. I'm not, unless it directly impacts you, because they're counting. The 80% is counting on the 20%. And the 20% needs to say, yeah, no, don't include me in that. I'm not your emergency contact. I'm not the person you call 5 days before payday and borrow money. I'm not the person that you call last minute to get the event. I'm not the person that you call the event to talk about your insignificant other, best friend, sister, family, whatever. If you're not going to hold them personally accountable, sit over here in that shit that you created. I'm not doing that. I'm over here using my 20% on me. I'm using that. I'm at 100%. You're not at 100%. You can be because it's neurological. So you can jump on Dr. Donna's live. Is the law of fatal few? It is not. It is just a person that came up with the concept of it. So they might have a book. I don't know. I was just researching the actual law itself. But if you look up the law, you're using Chat GPT, that answer will pop up for you. But yes, it's 80% of the outcomes come from 20% of the things that you're doing. That's what happens. And people say it, but then they don't do it. But it's a good law that you can use. It's like math. You can use it to compute anything. And that's the whole point, is that use your 20% for you. Do not give it away to somebody else who's unwilling, and empower others and help others. When there is this even exchange, because people are personally accountable, we all walk away enlightened and with something. But when there's not, you just think 3 out of 4 people quit. 3 out of 4 people quit. That's why you don't need 5 friends, because three out of 4 of them gonna quit anyway, because you're the 5th. Like, no, 3 of y'all ain't gonna make it. So that's the attrition. That's what I learned in the Army, is the attrition of people that's not gonna make it out of basic training, AIT, OB, NCO, ANOC, and BNOC. They're not gonna make it out of those things. People that start, like I said, my freshman class at CAS, it was over 1,400 of us, and only 602 of us graduated. 800 and something didn't make it. They did not make it. And that's because they did not want to be the best, because that's the difference. That's why it's only less than 2,000 people playing in the NFL and 600 or 700 in the NBA, because the rest of them fell off. They didn't have what it took to be excellent. And that's what personal accountability is on a daily basis. It's best. Be the best. 100%, top notch, creme de la creme, second mile service, all of that. It's pristine. 5-star, 6-star suites. That's what it is. And people don't want to create those new neural pathways to get that done. And they don't have to. But don't let them benefit from the fact that you did. Do not let somebody benefit from your thousands and thousands of days of being personally accountable. What was you doing? What was you doing while I was being personally accountable? You was kicking it. You was chilling in your comfort zone. You was avoiding growth opportunities, letting fear trap you and shit. That's what you was doing. So no, I don't owe you shit, because we had the same amount of 24-hour days. And you decided you weren't going to leverage those 17 and 18 hours of awake time. You kicking it. So kick it over there. Kick this shit for one, me and my DJ. You can cha-cha-cha your ass back to your comfort zone. That's what you can do. Because no, you don't owe them anything. And I'm talking about adults 18 and above. Why? What was you doing with your thousands and thousands of days? And you could do real leader math. You can say, take your age, multiply it by 365. You did have time. You had all them dailies. You had them thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of days. What was you doing with them thousands and thousands of days? Enlighten me. If you can justify and explain, because that's what it said, that you have to, accountable is being responsible for something and being required to explain or justify your actions or decisions. So what was you doing for them thousands of days? And if you can't account for them thousands of days, like I can, we ain't got nothing to talk about. There have been times when I told Nola, this client ain't a 5-star client. We're not coming back here. We just had to do it. Thumbs down. Thumbs down. You don't get 5-star service if you're not a 5-star client. People don't want to do the work for personal accountability. Kick rocks. I will talk to 10 people that's holding themselves personally accountable before I talk to 1 million that ain't. Them ain't some numbers that I'm interested in, because we know how we feel when people are unaccountable. At some point, my amygdala is going to have to get hijacked, and I'm going to have to go get my bar of soap out the bathroom and decide who getting it. Who getting wrote on today. I don't want to do that. My soap writing on stuff years is behind me. I don't want to do that. I can get real petty. Ask Nola. I can pull her out. I choose not to. Petty princess can show up and show out. So I'm not going to put myself in those precarious situations. I'm not going to knowingly do it. And if I find myself in one, I'm out. Oh, this ain't what I signed up for. I'm choosing to leave. This is not it. Absolutely not. No way. So you have permission to hold yourself personally accountable. Use this amazing organ, assess. Because what they do is, you over here, they come hijack your amygdala. You over here trying to figure out their stuff. You go back over here and figure it out. And then what do? Exit stage left. Thank you. I'll be back when I have my next crisis, my next problem, my next emergency. That's what your reward is. More of their shit. Oh, we ain't got to worry about it. Dr. Donna gonna take care of it. Worry. Because no, she's not. She's not taking care of it any damn more. Absolutely. Especially now. And when you have the raw data, you have the facts, and you have the information, numbers don't lie. People do. If you start thinking about 3 out of 4 people in your life that you know, you can be like, unaccountable, unaccountable, unaccountable. And all because of the reasons that I gave you are being unaccountable. And none of it, all of it is preventable. Fix you first. Get out your comfort zone, leave this temporal lobe, take your butt to this frontal lobe, and go ahead and make shit happen. That's what you can do. So going forward, do not keep accepting people being personally unaccountable. Don't do it. And you can't be personally unaccountable because you don't have the right to be self-righteous like them and telling everybody else what they doing wrong and everything, and your shit is toe up from the flow up. That's not how that works. Fix you first. It fixes a lot, and then you can go, okay, cool. I see. I can, because once you hold yourself personally accountable, you get these lenses, and now you can just see MRI versus mirror. Now you can just see who's personally accountable and who's not. It's amazing what you'll be able to see when you start looking within. That's what's going to happen. So thank you for your time today. And this is the number 1 principle of real leadership. And now you completely wholeheartedly can understand why. God willing, higher power in the universe. I will be back tomorrow. Same time, same place, safe space, different brain t-shirt. Y'all missed the MC Light reference. She just slipped in on us. You caught it, Kevin. Yep. Now, I ain't a lyricist, but I definitely will be able to put some one-liners in some situations. I could do that all day long, like that guy that does the weather that puts those things in there. I definitely could do that. I can't rap, but I will take a one line here and there and definitely put it in there. But you caught that, Kevin. Okay, thank you. All right. So you all go off and have a yes. Yeah, kick this one here for me and you can cha-cha-cha to this. Okay, got it. You all go off and have a fun, I believe it's Friday. Yes, you all have a fantastic Friday. And again, we will all meet till we meet again. Okay, no, Baptist Church, got it. Go off and do all these things. And really, if you can't do nothing else today, look at that doggone 80-20. You're like, nope, not me. Okay, take care. And whoever's available tomorrow, we'll see each other tomorrow. Adios.